ship left on the dock for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube at the owner's expense. Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards.
Anyways, yes, I will be milking that introduction for all it's worth because it is just so awesome, is it not? I mean, look at that thing. Go back and watch it again. Is it not cool? Yeah, I mean, y'all are a bunch of whiners anyways. All you want to do is listen to me talk about rando shit, not revel in the beautiful amazingness that is presented to you. So fine, whatever. Here you go. This week, we will be talking about everyone's favorite ship from the Battlestar Galactica reboot of late. And by that, of course, I mean the Raptors. Wait, sorry, what? Okay, I lied. I mean, they're probably not everyone's favorite ship. They're probably not even my favorite ship, although I do adore the little f***ers. And let me tell you why. So, first off, there doesn't seem like there's enough space to them. I mean, this ship... vehicle, fighter, helicopter, I don't know what to call this thing. This container of squishy things is meant to hold a pilot, a co-pilot, an electronic countermeasures officer, and 10 more squishies. It's supposed to hold 13 people in that little box. And on top of that, it has FTL capabilities, which is kind of a rarity in the Battlestar Galactica universe. It has an electronic warfare suite that makes the Cylons, you know, the actual fucking robots in the story, stand up and take notice. It has normal reaction drives. It has thrusters. It has a power plant. It has oxygen. It has an atmospheric control system. It has artificial gravity. It has all these things packed into this little tiny space. And it really brings to mind like classic science fiction, like back when space vehicles were basically boxes that were big enough to hold the people inside of them and nothing else. Like if you think of the original, the Lost in Space series, the original one, not the reboot Netflix series or the reboot movie, or I don't even know how many other ones, but the actual original, like, it's probably even black and white, Lost in Space series. Where, yeah, they had ships that were basically just empty space inside and had like walls and windows and doors and stuff, but it had no like spare volume to them. It was all just a set. I mean, it was just a set, but that's not the point. It was just space for people to walk around in, and there was no ancillary engineering space, no storage space, no nothing. The Raptor brings back to mind that level of like classic science fiction artistry, for lack of a better word. And you have to love that. Because things like Lost in Space and Outer Limits and Twilight Zone and all the rest of that genre of TV series and movies and whatnot got you humies interested again in science fiction. Or maybe not again. It got you interested in science fiction in general off the pages of a book. It got you interested in visual science fiction. And you didn't pay attention to the details because the details were stupid. The aliens were ape suits with a frickin' unicorn horn strapped onto their head. It was redonkulous. But you still loved it. And out of these things have grown entire universes that you probably wouldn't have had otherwise. So yeah, I have to love that a reboot of one of those original science fiction series that did spawn off or help spawn off so many other universes of science fictionness made a funny little weird inconsequential callback, even if it was unintentional, to how things were built previously, how ships and vehicles and vessels and so on and so forth paid no never mind like, where are you going to put the fuel or the power plant? Or, I mean, artificial gravity. Where does that live? They didn't care. They just made a box and put people inside of it and painted it up. Didn't matter. And I mean, in fairness, the Raptor is nowhere near that bad. But it does bring to mind that idea, because like I said, this ship is basically kind of a do-all ship for the Humies in Battlestar Galactica. It's their reconnaissance ship because it has a short-range FTL drive. It can hop ahead of everyone else and see what's going on, or hop backwards, or hop wherever. FTL and BSG is complicated and important and significant. Just take my word for it. It's also their electronic warfare ship. And understand that when we say electronic warfare, we are going up against literal robots and artificial intelligences and robots that make human-looking robots to the point where humans can, what's the term? Engage in carnal relations with the said robots. Yeah. Robots in this universe are kind of badass. But still, this Raptor can do EW against the robots. And they use Raptors for, like, marine insertion. If we want to take Marines from a Battlestar and land it on a Cylon base star, you use a Raptor to do it, because the BSG universe doesn't have transporters. It's also just generically the generic military transport in general, generically. And then on top of that, this flying winged potato can also mount, weapons, like missiles and guns and stuff. I mean, I would not want to have to go into a dogfight with one, because they don't maneuver for crap. But still, they are armed, and I'm pretty sure in the reboot series that they did actually count for at least a non-zero number of kills. So, hey, it's also a gunship. Let's do all the things. Right now. All the things. In one ship. All the things. And I mean, fundamentally, that's the hilarity of the Raptor. It's too big to fit down the catapult launch tube the Battlestars have. It literally just, takes off and flies away like you would expect a quote-unquote normal spacecraft to do. Like from the flight deck. It, takes off from the flight deck and toodles out the runway. I don't know, with the BSG runway arm things and flies off into space and does FTL or whatever and comes back home and lands basically the same way. It's not a fighter. It's not a transport. It's not even an EW bird technically, because it is doing way too many things to be an EW bird. If you want a good example of an electronic warfare bird, you need to look no further than the EA-6B Prowler, which might have influenced the Raptor's cockpit configuration, but that's a whole separate conversation. Anyways, the Prowler did one thing, and it did one thing amazingly well, and that was confuse the enemy's EW suite. It didn't carry 10 additional Marines in the back. It didn't have, long-range flight capabilities, because I'm not sure really how to translate FTL capabilities into your terrestrial aircraft concept. It was technically armed, mostly for self-defense, but still, we're talking a massive difference in concepts here. Or are we? I mean, seriously, the Raptor reads like someone took an Osprey and crossbred it with a Prowler, which, actually, now that I said that, sounds like the most awesome aircraft ever, doesn't it? Why didn't you people do that already? Seriously, how did you end up with a Growler when you could have had the Osprey Prowler hybrid whose name I can't come up with right now? Seriously, why? How have you failed so massively? What have you done wrong? Why do you keep doing it wrong? What is wrong with you? Well, you're Humies. That's fundamentally the problem, isn't it? Oh, but I forgot the most amazing thing, though, before I let y'all go back to doing whatever it is you're doing. So we're mostly talking about the, quote, modern Raptor, unquote, from the TV series with Starbuck and all the rest of those guys. And it was kind of a herpy-derpy little thing, kind of like the Type 6 shuttle that we talked about before. And like the Type 6, it's awesome in its own right. However, if you consider the Cylon War era of the Raptor fighter ship thing, apparently they mounted these things called Toaster Slayers. I mean, probably some, new EW pack, or I guess old EW package, right? Nope! They were two of the biggest Gatling cannons ever. On the Raptor. The herpy-derpy little thing that kind of toodles around out in space and carries people around and does silly little shit. They put Gatlings on it. Seriously, How have you humans not jumped on this idea? Cross a Osprey with a Prowler with a Spooky. Make it amazing. Why don't you guys do anything amazing anymore? Come on!
And that's all from Sacred Cow Shipyards. Please be advised that any ship left on the dock for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube at the owner's expense. Have a nice day.